Said this, quoted in Bob Larkin's excellent biography of Chips Rafferty: "It's a bloody superb film, but a lot of Australians are going to hate it," unquote. Indeed, a lot of Australians hated and still hate Wake in Fright. Of all the films I have ever presented on television, Wake in Fright is the one that always gets me a little hate mail. How dare you present such a disgusting film? One woman even wrote to me a very charming letter in which she said, "I like films on television which give me something to think about, and I turned that dreadful Wake in Fright off after 10 minutes. Extraordinary. Something to make you think. Yes, some of it is disgusting perhaps. Some of it is absolutely horrifying, but it's real, it's true. It's Australiana, the other side of the coin. And incidentally, on that subject, I still think, along with many other people and many critics, that it's up there with the best films ever made in this country." A French critic said this. He subtitled the film Wake in Fright, or Outback as it was known overseas, as a season in hell. What is this hell like today? Forgive the quotation, but it's very important. Ted Kotcheff, the Canadian director, doesn't hesitate for a second. Hell is a desert, flat like the outstretched hand, as dry as the blow of a whip, the colour of lion skin, an oppressive heat, a gummy sweat, flies that stick to the skin without stopping to buzz. So one drowns oneself in beer in glasses, bottles, cans, beer squirting from trigger-type faucets. The omnipresent beer is no longer the sign of resistance to hell, or a relief. It becomes a heavy cross to bear. It's the symbol of this hell, synonym of the sweat and the heat. It acts as a trap by the weight of a drunkenness it brings about. It's a glue, and thus the fine young man, the central character, like a fly, is stuck and cannot free himself anymore. And then he says, since the film is set at Christmas, it's a bizarre, rather monstrous Noel that forces the snowman into the heart of the furnace. Australiana, yes. And I'm expecting mail from people who hate it. And by the way, it's not really suitable for the young. I'm warning you now. So I won't go into any correspondence about that. This is not suitable for children by any shape or form. And now the players. I like the cast. Every member of it, including many Australians I'm not mentioning, whom you will recognise. But let's begin with Gary Bond, a young English actor who came to Australia to appear in this film. And he's good. You'll believe in him, and you don't think of him as an Englishman in Australia at all. A fine, sensitive, intelligent young man who's headed for trouble. With him in this scene, the great Chips Rafferty in his last feature movie appearance, and probably the best performance he ever gave. There are levels to this characterisation, there are suggestions and intimations that may astonish you, but it's very real. Let's move through the other actors in the cast of Wake in Fright. Donald Pleasence, vile and amiable. I say no more. The two-up scene, of course, is absolutely incredible. It smacks of reality too, like everything in this film. In our next shot from Wake in Fright, we have a wonderful person for whom I have the greatest admiration. One of the greatest things ever from Al Thomas as Tim Hines. What an extraordinary character he plays. Watch him, listen to him, comment on him. And in our next shot from Wake in Fright, we have Sylvia Kay as a woman deprived by the mates of a little love and affection. Sylvia Kay, incidentally, the wife of the director, Ted Kotcheff. Recognise them? By Jove, they're good. Jack Thompson and Peter Whittle. One writer referred to the characters as two mindless thugs. They're not. They're amiable and likeable. I think you'll love them in their first scenes, but I wonder how you'll feel later with the kangaroo hunt, which many of you will find quite impossible to watch. Wake in Fright, beautifully cast, written, directed, played. It's an astonishing experience. I'm warning you about it, but I wouldn't miss it for anything. It is powerful and unforgettable.